Well, yeah.
I guess we'll get to that.
Here we go, baby.
I did accidentally press it.
Yeah, nice.
Well, and this is what I was telling people the other day on when we're doing that Sundance stream. Is like the confirmation button is so scary. I'm like, oh my god, the power I wield. It was a little bit terrifying. So I'm glad that you accidentally.
I saw the StreamYard watermark. I'm like, look how they massacred my boy.
Couldn't take it off.
But yeah, let's go.
Watch it!
What's going on, guys? Every time it just gets me in the mellow mood.
Smooth.
Yeah, welcome back to episode number 64 of Hyperspace Hype, where today we're back. It's happening again. For better or worse, hey, we're gonna talk about it. Join us today. We got Evan.
We should really flash back to Mando season 2 episode. What was it when I was finally fed up with it? I think it was episode.
Ahsoka episode.
I think episode 5 was the Ahsoka episode, but episode 6, ironically, where we are now is Mando or with
Carson screen share the episode.
I think we're on episode 6 where I'm like, okay, I'm not sure I like where this is going, and I'm here again. Fast forward 2 years, and we're back at it again. Filoni and Favreau cannot help themselves, but I had some great things from this episode. I had some mixed things from this episode, but overall, I'm excited to talk about this Hyperspace Hype overall. High Republic news came out like an hour ago. Kenobi news came out yesterday and today. So a lot of new shows to talk about, but I'm most excited to talk about Book of Mando / Fett.
Book of Mando. Carson's also joining us.
Yes, I am here. So is my pet Bantha, who's majestically perching on the sand dune. No, just like Evan said, I'm pumped to be talking about this episode, talking through it. It's gonna be a half therapy session, half man that was cool, I wish it was somewhere else session, half you know what, I give up. It's Star Wars, man. I like this shit. I'm okay. I'll be okay. I got the High Republic. I don't need everything to go perfect, crystal perfect. Every single show, it will all be okay. Nonetheless, I want to talk about some of the things that we didn't liked, disliked a lot. I don't know. I feel like I've changed my tune on this episode every day since I've talked to you guys.
Spicy.
So we'll see. Yeah.
I don't usually change my tune. I'm at the same tune, baby.
The same tune?
Yes. Even tempo, not my tempo.
Same cup of tea, same tempo.
If you get the Whiplash reference, thank you, Nathan. He picked up what I was putting down, baby.
Hey, the funniest thing is of the working time. Remember how forever I'm like, I'm gonna make this Mando season 2 video, and I haven't.
No, it could just all be one video at this point.
It could, and it's funny because so you know the old movie by Kubrick, Doctor Strangelove.
Sure, never saw it.
Okay, well, yeah, there's that movie, which also has like a subtitle that says "Or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb." There's a new title.
That's the one with the opening scene with the long take with the bomb in the car. That scene?
I don't think so. It's more like
never mind.
Like nuclear war thing.
Okay, never mind.
But I remember I wrote this title and it's in my tweet drafts. I found it the other day. It says Mandalorian season 2 broke me, or how fan service corrupted my enjoyment and made Star Wars a chore. And I'm like, Jesus, what was I thinking?
Man.
But you know, I'm accepting now. I think I have evolved into okay. this is what it is.
I refuse to accept these things. I refuse. As a person, I'm a huge TV guy. Yeah, it's a great poster. As a TV person, I watch TV all the time, not just Star Wars TV. And I expect I don't know. I just expected something different from a Star Wars television show. It doesn't have to be an event style show. And that's what Mando and Book of Boba Fett are right now. They're event television where it's good in the short term, but in the long term, the thrills are gone. And you're just left there being like, okay, that was cool, but does it really fit? And I don't know. It's just like the show's called Book of Boba Fett, and you can try and make your tangential connections BS.
Ooh, I got chills there, man.
But I don't know.
That's a good word.
Know. Thank you very much. I've been saving it up for this podcast. It's in my notes. No, it's not. But
Nathan's going Sidious mode.
This is a Little Red Riding Hood motherfucker over here. I'm kidding.
What say you, Nathan?
I came off hot. I liked half of this episode. I liked half of the other episode.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Air it out. We gotta air it out.
Every single hot take, including your friend. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I wish he's trying to give his opinion on the show. It's just not really.
That one's Moon, correct?
Yeah, he's falling asleep on stream.
I sent a meme.
Oh, here we go.
Meme pic of Lupin a couple of minutes ago.
Yeah,
and Evan said to me, "How many CAFOs do you have?" And I'm like, "Well, Carson said that earlier." And he's like, "Oh, it's Lupin." I was like, "Yeah, the name tag's there."
I was watching Big Brother. I was distracted.
Oh, very. We were having an old conversation.
Turn off my TV, actually. We're good.
Play Spider-Man.
He's gone.
But yeah, I think we should start where it all began.
Back on Iron Man.
No, that's too far.
Back in a desert. Desert.
The title of the episode, Desert from a Strange Place, right?
Something from the desert comes a stranger.
Same thing. Yeah, that works.
You want to run the show, Evan?
No, I don't. I'll be stuck at it. Was that from... That's referring to Cad Bane?
Yeah.
Yes.
Who was only...
Well, it kind of misdirects in the beginning, because you're just like, oh, you don't say. Cobb.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. So the episode starts off with Mr. Justified.
Let's kick off, it was funny, because I was watching, and all I see are just, like, a desolate place with moisture evaporators, and I'm like... Cobb? Maybe not. Maybe I'm just like desolate, and I'm just sitting here like, all right, I'll fucking temper my expectations. And then I'm watching this fucking drug deal, and then the man himself.
Skinnier? Am I crazy? Maybe I just like because he doesn't have the armor really.
I think it's just the armor guy.
Yeah.
Oh, you say you got skinnier? You're saying?
I don't know. He just looked like living on Tatooine.
He's dehydrated.
Not much of a diet out there, you know.
Yeah. Unless she's eating Vanthus.
I really did like this scene. Though.
New sub notification, remember?
It's a great scene. As soon as I saw Cobb Vanth back, I was like, "Oh wow, we're doing this."
I was thrilled.
Mm-hmm. Made sense.
A boy back,
and it was central to the Pikes, and the Pikes were there, and they're like running things, and it was connected to the thing, and then
still not getting much from the Pikes. Unfortunately, they're kind of like the stormtroopers of the show, where it's just like, okay, they're just there.
Which is funny because I loved from the flashbacks, like the
episode 2,
the enforcer guy that they had that was kind of like running in the shadows, and I love that scene between him and Boba. And now we can kind of presume that they hired Cad, right, to or maybe after the fact they hired Cad in the present to obviously be at their side.
I agree.
So yeah, it's just kind of I wish there was more of a I wish some of the cutaways were dedicated to like establishing that, because now we're going into a finale.
I agree.
Without that per se, more so just talking about it.
You were going into the finale more so concerned with Cad more so than the Pikes themselves. Are the Pikes going to have a voice in this finale besides Cad Bane?
Regardless, I do like this Cobb Vanth scene.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Super cool. Yeah, he's just
establishing how cool he is, but also establishing how quick he is with the blaster, taking down 3 out of the 4 guys in less than a second, basically.
In 2 shots.
Yeah, in 2 shots, basically. Then the last guy wasn't really prepared for it. So we're like, oh, wow, he's a quick shot. What else can he lose against? Dun-dun-dun.
Yeah.
So,
And I do
Yeah.
like him as like more and more you see on these little things at Tatooine. It's like one guy stands in the way type of thing where Boba's trying to be that guy for this entire town. Cobb Vanth is, he is essentially the well-matured version of Boba, who's earned all the respect, earned all the things. Not necessarily coming from being a killer, but it's just interesting to watch the other side of the character, which I think is cool. Like that tweet thread that Evans or somebody sent earlier. I think it's cool that it kind of progressed, that Boba's armor was here, and then now we're looping back into this. So I think that
Don't laugh, Evan.
Tangential, but it works. It works 100%. Because it's on Tatooine. I think that's why
we're still on the same planet.
We're still on Tatooine. It's concerning the Pikes. Cobb Vanth is central to it. Even on Mando Season 2, we theorized, are we going to see a scene between Mando and Cobb Vanth? What is that going to be like? Does he want his armor back? What's going on between? So there's more interesting stuff between those two men. And I like seeing the Cobb Vanth. He looks tired. He looks like he doesn't want to be Marshal anymore. And that kind of gets brought up later on where he's like...
the new hire guy.
The deputy.
Yeah, with the deputy. Where he's just like he wants to not get involved, as we see later on, but he also looks pretty tired and he doesn't want to risk his people. But we'll get to that later. But after this scene...
I was shocked we didn't cut to the Boba stuff right away.
I agree, yeah.
But...
Well, hold on. Once he drives the Pike away, he tells him to just leave the spice, which there's a great moment when he was like it's worth more than your town.
Guess I'll do an early retirement or something here.
Yeah, and then he takes off and he just kind of like takes a look at it and just tips it into the sand, and I'm like, Dune.
You hear the Dude theme.
But yeah, it was okay. My commitment is too much. Yeah, that was a great little moment, and then we do progress forward. Where? We're flying with Mando.
Right away.
Yeah,
I was shocked. I was like, we're back with Mando. And right here, I was like, okay, he's coming to Tatooine to meet up with Cobb Vanth from after the Grogu scene. I'm like, okay, they're going after the Grogu scene. But then the camera pans and we see the full scope of the planet and it's green. And I'm like, they're actually doing it. We're about to see Luke. Great. This is gonna be cool. I was like, this is gonna be a cool 5 minute scene. We'll say hi to Grogu, maybe not say hi to Grogu. Part of me expected him to not be able to muster up the courage to say hi to him, but that's kind of like cliche in that sense. But also, I was like, okay, it's gonna be a short scene, but it just kept on going. We'll get to it, but yeah. We're on the planet, baby.
We're on the planet. We land. R2's here. I'm like, as soon as I saw the antenna, I'm like, you're doing this, aren't you? And I keep thinking back to the damn interview where Filoni's talking about John. Like, you get to work with R2, and John's like, R2.
I do like this entire scene where we start to see the buildup of the temple and the droid. It's kind of ominous, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
I see the tapestry that they're starting to build with, obviously, the Luke's Academy and everything, which is really interesting. But I just,
go on.
No, this is my I'm mad at myself because I'm like,
yes,
I'm mad at myself because I'm like, should I be mad that this is in this show when I would like some of this stuff? It was just not in this show. So where do I land on that? I don't know.
So your feeling is, and I think it's the same with me, that you are enjoying what they're presenting. You just don't know if it should belong in this.
Yeah, and then
property.
I feel like that tampers the execution of it even more because that's just on my mind the entire time in this episode.
And for me, I'm even less so than that. I'm just bored by these scenes.
Wow.
I don't think they're fascinating. I think it's cool, but I don't need everything explained to me. Like I like seeing the rise of Kylo Ren, and that got a little tease of what Luke's place was up to in the comic books. But seeing his house from The Last Jedi getting built by robot builders, I was like, okay, that's cool. But part of me it's twofold. yes, I think it's misplaced. It shouldn't be in this show. Secondly, I think this whole plot line is stupid from the beginning, so it's hard to get invested from the Luke taking Grogu plot. I'm glad it got ended up in this episode, but part of me is like, I'm not really invested. I don't really like the direction here, and a lot of the execution I just didn't really care for. But mostly, yes, it is that it's out of place. It's just that for me, I don't know. It just seemed more than that. I was just bored. Because I think for me, I'm wanting to watch Boba Fett, and I'm bored because it's cool, but it's not. Even if this was somewhere else, even if, let's say, if this was in Mando season 3, I'd still be feeling the same way. I'm like, we're here, we're going through the motions. Like, I don't know where the show would have fit unless it's a Luke Skywalker live action show, which nobody, I wouldn't say nobody wants. People want that, but it's just like, unless
it's funny because
it's hard to explain.
I know. It's funny. I get what you're saying because I'm like, I've said many times before on this podcast how interested I am in that era. And of course, you know, we've gotten new characters in Grogu and Mando. I just feel like we're at a weird kind of standstill, I guess, where it's like we're in between all these plot lines, and it's like, okay, we'll figure that out in Ahsoka, and then we'll come back to see what Grogu's choice is in Mando season 3, and then it's like, so it keeps like it's like rolling over on itself sometimes, which I'm fine with. Like, obviously they want to like build out like the Disney Plus universe.
But pause, because you don't have to build out the universe like this. Like, you don't have to divert an entire show, both in Mando season 2 and in Book of Boba Fett. You don't have to divert a show to expand your universe. Just tell us the story of Mandalorian. Just tell us the story of Boba Fett. And then give us a Defenders bullshit where they're all connected in that show, and we'll accept it.
That's what I find so interesting is,
why can't they just do that?
It's like I said off air last night. I'm shocked they did not set the precedent early in this show that we're going to be cutting around a shit ton. You know what I mean? And then like each episode we have like an equal amount of time with the characters and or do, you know, more centered like A and B plot arcs.
It would be one thing. It would be one thing if like we were hopping around like from the jump, but we had 4 consecutive episodes following just Boba
all on Boba's arc, which I really dug. And I've been waiting for the payoff now because we had to get through the flashbacks and that emotional baggage we had to get through for his character, which I thought was really good for the most part.
Minus the killing the Texans.
Yeah. So, and then I was like, how is this going to resolve? And then it was like, okay, back burner. There's not really... So, I don't know. My biggest issue is there's not really any tension right now, if that makes sense. Like,
I completely agree.
This was the penultimate episode as well.
When we're standing around and like it's like I get it. People go crazy like, oh my god, Grogu's on Luke's back. Just pass on what you have learned, just like Empire Strikes Back. It's cool, but like you said, it goes on for a while. Like it
goes on for a while, and it feels like they're going to have to be overstuffing this finale at this point, right? Because there's so many outside of the tangential, I'll say that again, characters and stuff with Mando. In terms of Boba Fett, we still have to get the obvious Rancor moment. There's going to be the Cad Bane versus Boba Fett moment. There's still the Pikes moment to get over. Is Fennec going to do anything in the finale interesting enough? Is Black Chrysanthemum, all that kind of stuff. But then with Mando, like, is Mando bringing in Cobb, and then is Luke and Grogu going to show up in this finale? At this point, I think so. But it's like, there's just so much to get through that the finale is going to become unfocused. It's as a result.
Yeah, it's interesting. So like, I mean, I never got the feeling of it going on for too long with like the Luke stuff. I mean, maybe it's just because I'm into the wise words and the Zen music presented in the beautiful atmosphere.
I love the frog scene, but then I feel like we just kept.
I was terrified, but it's fun.
I guess it was weird because it was like, we got the frog scene, and then like it's weird when you have. I think I know what it is. It's weird when he's literally an infant, right? Still, so there's like we get the responses from him, but then like, not to like talk about The Last Jedi, but I love like Rey's like questioning of everything. If that makes sense. We don't have any feedback loop with the wise words. It's just Luke talking.
I agree. Like every iteration of training we see, whether it's Anakin to Obi-Wan or Luke to Yoda, or Rey and Luke, that like there's always like a questioning of like why the teaching goes, and through that you unveil more of the wisdom. And even to a point, Luke straight up says, "It's like it's more like I'm just unlocking what he already knew than actually teaching him anything."
Which I thought that was cool. Yeah,
I kind of disliked it because I'm like, then what's the purpose in this entire?
It's kind of counterintuitive.
That's the thing.
But then I do like how Luke like questioned it. He's like, I don't know if his heart is in it. Like, I don't know.
This whole plot line is just it's basically saying, like, for me at least, like the decision to have Luke take Grogu, it was a waste because as an audience member, you know Grogu's coming back, so it's just like, I feel like Grogu's not into it. No shit. Like, as an audience member, I'm like, okay, thank you. Then what was the point of all these scenes between Luke and Grogu? What did we learn from these scenes? That Luke is still a bad teacher?
Well, okay. I think it could be like the early stages. But all right, so like my point I was getting with bouncing off with what Carson was saying about we like literally, and we were saying this like off air yesterday. We've only seen Grogu presented us as a literal infant in a carrier being moved from place to place, so for him to be doing like active training stuff feels odd. Like I don't at any point see Grogu wielding a lightsaber and doing full Jedi stuff, especially not in their lifetime. So it feels odd, and like it's for that reason like I just added on to like, of course he's not going to stick around with this, and that's where it gets weird because you start to think like, well, why did we have this side quest anyway, if not just for the sake that we can see that we can
and also
make
the
this.
moral dilemma they frame it in. That's a great point that you bring up, because I was kind of actually like, I know the show doesn't flat out endorse it. We're supposed to feel like kind of weird about Luke's whole like ultimatum and Ahsoka's like whole questioning to Din, where they're giving a choice, but they're backing them into it, which I argue is probably just as toxic as making the choice for them. Like, it's kind of weird, like, you only can choose one, someone you already love, and
which is also, it's weird. I mean, real quick, besides the ultimatum thing, the Ahsoka of it all is also very interesting because she's not a Jedi. She didn't really endorse the choice thing. She wasn't really there for that. No. But in terms of the Din thing, it just felt so off. Like, I know you're not a Jedi, but you're telling Din, like, hey, are you doing this for yourself or for Grogu? I think the point that she's trying to say is, like, let Grogu make the choice to come back, not you, like, basically saying, like, bring your influence onto him. Mm-hmm. But it's just, like, it just felt so off. And as an audience member, again, you're more concerned with Din than, like, anything the Jedi or Force have to say to it. But even outside of that, as a character, it just feels off. And then Din being his shy self is going to be like, okay, I guess you're right. And then walks away. I'm like, come on, Din, say something. But anyways, it felt off.
I mean, it's interesting because like I know the way they're framing it is just that it's all coming from a place that Ahsoka is worried about Grogu ending up like Anakin did. Right. And I'm sure they're going to explore that in her show with Hayden back.
Definitely.
But it's interesting. I don't know, because again, like we're also like coming off of Ahsoka from Rebels, who was like following right along with Kanan and Ezra. So I don't know.
I loved what Ahsoka had to say to Kanan and Ezra in that show. Constantly giving good words of advice, constantly giving cautious words of wisdom.
I think we actually
cautious here, but it's interesting because in Mando season 2, she more projects it, but like is curious, obviously. But then,
I think we got a better version of like the message she was delivering to Din in this episode. I think we got a better version of that with Ezra in the World Between Worlds of like picking to save Kanan or not.
That was perfection. I agree.
Yeah, that's a good...
this one, and I'm going back to it, but just I don't know, this portrayal of Ahsoka, what do you guys think of it compared to having now seen her in this a little bit and in Mando season 2? I don't know.
Honestly,
I'm not feeling it, but also at the same time, maybe it's because I'm not feeling Ahsoka in live action in general. Like,
Yeah, that
if
might
they
be.
wouldn't have announced
I need-
Ahsoka getting a TV show, the backdoor pilot of it all just ruined my expectations and outlook on the character.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I think I need to see how her show plays out before I can like really process what we're getting here.
Yeah.
But also just like going back real quick, like the whole stuff with Luke's training, I'm like I was saying, like it's odd it feels uncanny to see a like infant doing like this training stuff. I feel like I'd be more engaged if I was like seeing like, not just because I like the character, but like if I was seeing like a Ben Solo or like a conscious, like, you know, someone of age that can like communicate with the training process.
I agree, Nathan. It felt goofy, and I don't know if it was supposed to feel goofy or not, but it just felt goofy. I know it's cute, it's Grogu training, but it's like, I hate that word, by the way.
Training.
Star Wars has recently ruined me with that word, the whole Rey thing and Rise of Skywalker. Training. Stop it! Stop it! Like, not every character needs to train, but I did like what Luke said here, where I'm helping you to protect yourself, or to help you focus your powers. That I'm like, okay, Luke. Help Grogu learn to protect himself, then ship him off to Din. He doesn't want to be there. You know he doesn't want to be there. So why even give him the choice?
He was reaching out for that starship when he left.
Exactly. So I'm just, I don't know. That also makes the choice thing seem weird. If Luke already knew he didn't want to be there.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't finding like it looking odd because I mean, honestly, I'm into filmmaking, so I was just really swept up with the whole like, wow, how did they make this puppet look like so like damn convincing? I think straight up to the point where like I think like the animators like painted out any like puppeteering shadows under Grogu because it's just like flawless with the lighting. I'm like, how the hell?
Yeah, dude, it was really good.
And the whole look of it all too. I was thoroughly impressed with like the 180 of VFX that they did of pulling him off. Like that looked like one for one Mark Hamill.
It looked way better than before. I was shocked.
I think
especially because he was talking and moving a lot more, obviously.
Yeah, and I think that's why I was so swept up with it. I was telling Evan before we went live, I was finding it interesting. It seemed like they were more careful with the dialogue they were giving Luke to say on screen, because it's tough to animate like the S and T sounds of sentences with the lips to get it right. So like whatever he does, they're not really like focusing on his face, but when they do, they have like the right dialogue. Evan was also making a great point of like the vocal performance. the vocal performance of Luke, you said, was kind of you felt off.
It felt hollow,
which is understandable because they're not doing like a performance. They're not like shifting like Mark's performance. They have a AI that learns Mark's voice through different recordings that they can make say whatever they want.
Yeah, Matthew Wood just did a recent article about that on Variety, THR, or something like that, about that. And it made it seem even creepier. I mean, I guess I know why they have to bring Luke onto this show. It just feels, the voice feels hollow, and the implications of it all just also feels hollow. Having somebody come in here, be less expressive. Why should I be invested when this character is coming in here who's not even that expressive or interesting to look at, aside from good effects? He looks good, but it's not appealing to get involved or invested in the dialogue of it all, because the dialogue feels off and the emotions of it all feels off. Like, he doesn't look that expressive. So why, as an audience member, should I feel integrated into the scene?
It's like a new uncanny valley that we're not used to yet. If that's the best way I could describe it, is
100%.
Well, that's
so, especially when you're acting off like Ahsoka, for example, like an actual.
They're both puppets technically.
Like an actual actor, and it's like, obviously, like, it's, you know, we make fun of the prequels of like the eye line is off. Oh, they're looking at Jar Jar Binks' like stomach, like, you know. But this is like a different thing where the inflections of the voice, like as Luke is responding, what we're seeing is not what we're hearing.
That's the thing. 100%.
And so it's a new thing that I guess I'm still grappling with, because we have such few examples of. And
that combined just dampens my. If I already don't like the story, as just for me, and plus like exactly what Carson just said, it just dampens my outlook on the whole scene as a whole. Yes, I like what Luke is doing in terms of the grander scale of it all and how it means for his journey, but I don't care. I don't. I don't care what's going on with Luke right now. I'm watching the Book of Boba Fett. And I know Boba had a connection with Luke in Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back, but this is the Book of Boba Fett. He hasn't mentioned Luke at all. He doesn't care about Luke. He's moved on from Luke. So to have him in the show just feels off.
Do you think remove all of the shows? Do you think Luke's like right now is interesting, or would you prefer like when he goes out? Presumably, obviously, Grogu doesn't accept, and then Luke is probably gonna leave and do his explorations or whatever that he does.
I guess I'm in the minority. I don't really care for this teaching stuff, but I do. I'm a huge.
But if it was a Ben Solo era animated show, like,
then that has implications, and that I like. But with this one, I'm like, well, Grogu's going home, so why should I be invested? And granted, if he's teaching Ben Solo, I know the end scene of that as well. But it's more interesting because there's a family history to it. There's not anything connecting Grogu to Luke. Also, I kind of do like the Luke discovery of it all. If they give me a Luke show, fucking like Indiana Jones rediscovering ancient relics, they're doing that a lot in the comic books, and I really like that from Charles Soule.
Yeah.
But otherwise, that's what I'm more interested in.
I do think it's interesting that Luke, like, obviously, the whole question of like, oh, we never got to see Luke in his prime, blah 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 blah. That whole discourse, at least I do think the interesting part of it that's kind of hinted at in the show is like Luke really never had anybody. Like, I mean, like, he's still like learning. Like, his knowledge of a Jedi is very different from the aggregate generations and generations of knowledge that was passed into like a prequel era Jedi who would have like went through this formal process, blah 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 blah. Luke's journey is very different, and now with that main conflict over of defeating the Empire, it's interesting that he's kind of just left. You know what I mean? Like, and so I do think it's interesting that what the relationship between him and Ahsoka is, because that's kind of weird. And then like,
yeah,
so there's all these like outstanding strings that are kind of hinted at the show. Again, I just don't feel like it fits because it's not his show. It's not diving enough into those things, but just teasing it for a yet to be thing, or that maybe Luke is just going to keep appearing in these subsequent shows. So it's interesting how they kind of dabble with it, but I don't know how I feel about it entirely. Like I said, I like the implications of it, but I think that's me attaching the meaning and the future onto it, which I think is okay, because obviously bring this stuff to the shows as a fan of like the whole overall thing, but then it's like, why is the show there in the first place if you're making the story?
That's the thing. When we do that a lot, and we said it before Boba Fett even was a show, we said this during Mando season 1 and 2, we're bringing a lot to the show in terms of our theories, expectations, but beyond that, it's just like what it means, the thematic levels. What I liked about that 4 episodes, whenever we would talk about the 4 episodes of Boba Fett, what we're theorizing, what we're predicting, what we're seeing from the show is visually what's happening in the show via dialogue from Fennec and Boba when they're having a campfire. Visually, they're telling something about themselves as characters. With these Luke scenes, yeah, they're telling us through dialogue what's going on with these characters. Like the choice scene, it tells a lot about Luke as a character. But like Carson said, they're not diving too deep into it because it's not their show, so it feels half-baked.
Yeah, it feels like we're dropping in uninvited. If that kind of is a weird analogy that kind of makes sense. It's like we're present with the character, but it neither feels like a main event nor a small event. It just feels like we're with them. I concur. That's the best way I could put it.
I concur, and I think they expect us to feel in with it because we saw Luke in Mando season 2, so we've already been introduced to it. But it's not the same. Whether even if it's Mando season 3, even if it's Book of Boba Fett, I want these stories to be themselves. I don't want them to have to. Yes, Grogu got taken by Luke, so I guess you can argue they're now connected, but whatever. To each their own. but yeah, it just feel I agree with you on all those points. I just feel it was half baked and off for me. But diving into Luke as a character here, there was a lot of different things here because Luke as a character, for me at least, I always thought, yes, he's very new to this. Yes, he's only learning from people like Yoda and Ben. But even in the original trilogy, Luke was quick to go against what Yoda has said. Luke was right in Empire Strikes Back. Luke got proven wrong when he went to go fight Vader, but Luke was proven right when he decided not to kill Vader. And I liked that. And Yoda,
not
number
to
one,
mention,
said, and
he risks everything to save Han. Like, people forget,
which
that,
I liked, which is right.
Yeah,
right?
Which I think is a thing that's overlooked in terms of like a personal choice that I think would be like, you know, fate had him end up. You know, I feel like like an earlier Jedi have been like, you need to focus on the grand scheme of things. You can't save everybody, even though he's your friend. Think about all the people that have got this momentum in the rebellion. You need to see that through, blah, 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 blah. But he completely goes against that and, you know, rescues his friend. That's the start of Return of the Jedi. So I think in Return of the Jedi is all about, and even like in the throne room, for example, like he's able to, I mean, he's still chasing that feeling of, he's worried about his friends, you know what I mean? Like, he's worried about
he's always friends
that relationship, first. You know what I mean? He's always worried about, he's passionate about his friendships, but not to a fault.
But let me ask you this. Do you think and I don't think so, but do you think he regrets his decision to rescue Han in Empire? Because that's what this all about is, right? Like, in terms of attachments. If Luke doesn't go there, Han still ends up captured. Something's changed. But I don't think Luke regrets it, nor should he.
No, I don't think like we're talking about like Luke's mindset in this episode.
No, now I'm kind of veering just towards Empire
of Luke, yeah,
and his idea of attachment to friends. I think in Empire, he says, "No, Yoda, I'm not going to take the back seat approach and not do anything. My friends are in danger. I'm going to go help them." And he kind of takes that on also in terms of Jedi. But also in Empire, he also gets his butt kicked. He gets to a very low point because he decided to help his friends. And I was just asking, do you think he regrets that?
Yeah, he doubles down on it in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he regrets it. I think honestly, like the whole like journey coming off the original trilogy leading to Last Jedi, I think in this episode we're seeing Luke in a point of like, it's like, you know, the war is over, but he's now in his legend era. He's in that popularity of like, I have to continue to see. I feel like he feels like he has that obligation to do something to the galaxy and stuff. And I think that's why he's questioning like is Grogu's heart and stuff, and trying to talk with Ahsoka, because he himself, I think, is insecure as a teacher, which I think is only going to be tested even more so when we get to the trials of Ben later on in the downfall, which is what spirals him out to just leave everything behind.
I agree with that, Nathan. People, and just in general, like, since we're all talking about it, what do you guys think of Luke's teaching here in general? Because the choice thing, yes, it's bad, but everything else prior to that, I didn't feel like he was making any huge mistakes, really.
No. I don't think so. I think
maybe I'm just reading it wrong from people's reaction, but people were just saying like, "Oh, this whole episode was a lesson on how Luke is going to be towards like the Last Jedi," that kind of connection, which I think is true. But it's also like, I think Luke didn't make any huge mistakes until he said the choice thing, which is kind of off. But
I think I think the choice thing is like, he's going into that absolutism, but like in a different way than like the prequel Jedi were. It's more of an absolutism in terms of believing so much that, or wanting to believe so much that his mantle can mean everything and make a difference to everybody right now, that he overcompensates in that fact because he doesn't want to mess up.
Yeah,
because he hasn't messed up really at this point.
Yeah, I can honestly see it being a thing where like he's never been a teacher. So he probably doesn't know even where to begin. At best, he has like, I have the Jedi books. Maybe I can just try to follow those to a T. Like, try to get that rolling as best I can. And I think he needs to like learn to bring more of himself and his own teachings to it instead of just following it like word for word, which ultimately he learns by like Yoda and Last Jedi. I was like, the books don't fucking matter, man. What matters is like you and the student.
It was interesting that he goes back to the books because of his failure.
Not holding your students to the same standards and choices that were maybe infringed upon you, rightfully or not.
Yeah, and also like Luke came in like a whole different era, like where there was no academy, and now he has to do it all from scratch in an era he never lived through.
Right.
It's a lot.
And in that way, it's a burden, and so. You know, in a lot of ways, I feel like maybe he wants to, or maybe even subconsciously, like spread that around because it's a big responsibility for, I mean, how many does he know? I don't even know, like in the comics, like he knows Ahsoka now and he knows Grogu and that's really it. Like, I don't know how else he knows that is like force sensitive.
Well, it's also weird because we're also like, what, 6 years after his last...
But like,
yeah, but I mean, it's weird because we're 6 years after his like last film appearance in this era. So I mean, what that progression was, like, who's to even say?
Exactly. Maybe there's a show coming.
Maybe, but
what do you guys think of the Luke and Ahsoka scene? Because that one also felt like I don't want to go as far to say pandering, but as soon as it happened, I'm like, okay, of course they're gonna mention Anakin, which they did, which was also a very weird cut where Grogu is training and Luke's like he doesn't seem to be into it or something like that, and Ahsoka's like, just like your father. And I'm like, huh?
I also think it's interesting Ahsoka was just like, I do like the dynamic that Luke is like looking up to her in a way and like, what should I do?
I like that
makes
too.
Sense.
It does. Yes.
Well, she is also his elder.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's kind of hand off too, which I like too. She's not telling him like, this is what you should be doing. She's hand off. She's like,
right.
You do you. You get to do your own thing. I'm just going to be here to help you if you need it.
That's why it's weird. I do like Ahsoka. It was weird that Ahsoka just kind of like left him on a limb, like, trust your instincts.
Well, maybe she's of that mindset, and like that's why she believes like nobody's safer to be in custody with than Luke himself, because she probably knows of like his journey of being tempted by the dark side and overcoming it with the whole confrontation with Vader. So it's just like, hey, he's been tempted. He didn't succumb. He's the one.
She's right. Yeah.
So yeah, it's really interesting scene.
What do you guys make of the Anakin thing, though? I don't get it. Unless I'm reading the dialogue scene wrong.
Well,
he's training. He says he's not into it. And she's like, just like your father. When was Anakin not into training? Or was he not into the Jedi Order?
I don't know if that was the exact line. I feel like I need to...
I think she was...
Yeah, I could be completely wrong.
Saying, like Anakin's questioning of everything. Luke was like just in that moment. Like, I think it's as simple as Luke just like questioning things.
Okay.
And not being sure, and Anakin always wanting to be like, oh, let's
do
this instead of this, or should we, hey, Master, shouldn't we?
He's always taking the right when the Jedi go left. Yeah.
And so I think Luke, even just diving into that line of questioning, she was like, oh, like that's similar, because Anakin would always instead of just repeating the process, you're asking yourself what is it about.
Anakin would always go in a different direction. He was always a hothead kind of person. Okay, yeah, you kind of made me.
I think it's a little more literal than we're probably trying to put a lot more meaning to it. But,
okay. But either way, I was like, of course I gotta do the Anakin scene. Has Luke even talked to Anakin? I don't really care, but we'll see.
So then it was like a weird thing of, will I see you again? I hope so.
Oh, I hated that.
I was like, are we doing another backdoor pilot?
See you in my next show coming 2023.
Yeah, I was like,
that's basically what it was. I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, granted, there's two characters saying bye, but there's just an implication to each other. I'm just like, is Luke going to be in this Ahsoka show now? Barf. Luke doesn't need to be in all these shows. Yes, he's alive, but he doesn't need to be in all these shows. Hating is enough.
Okay, so I'm watching the dialogue back.
Okay, yeah. Please tell me.
It legit is just sometimes I wonder if his heart is in it after they're talking about the Mando gift, and yeah, she says just like your father. Is there a scene between Anakin and Ahsoka, with like a similar mindset? Like
No.
maybe Anakin speaking to Obi-Wan or something. I don't know.
Not really, but I think what Carson said is pretty much right. Where it's just like Anakin, he was very much a devout Jedi Knight, but he also was very reckless and rebellious, and his heart wasn't.
Or even
I
just
guess
like,
is that what you're saying, Carson?
or like think about like this is like a random scene that just popped in my head, but like in Attack of the Clones where it's Anakin and Padme just sitting in the bedroom, and Anakin's like, I don't know anything anymore, blah blah blah, like the Jedi don't trust me, and da 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 da, like, you know, just kind of going on a rant about like, well, I don't know if this is gonna work or how this is gonna end up, and I don't know.
But did Anakin tell Ahsoka any of those insecurities?
I don't see. I would need to rewatch Clone Wars chiefly.
I rewatched Clone Wars 4 times, and he doesn't talk to her about that kind of stuff. Like, there's hints where he's just like, where he's hinting about the Padme stuff, but not saying the Padme stuff.
Or even
even after
in the very beginning of just like taking on a Padawan, that type of thing of like, I don't know how to do that.
I was gonna mention the very end where she's leaving, and one of her lines is doing something along the lines of she's leaving, she's going, and she's like, I can't stand this place anymore. And he's like, I know or I understand. Am I making that up, guys?
He said, like, believe me, like, I understand wanting to walk away from the Order. And
boom.
She's like, I know. And they're like, oh, shit.
I think that's right there. Is a good
and obviously
line.
Luke is not indulging that train of thought, but he's indulging like.
I think Ahsoka is in that sense.
Right.
Well, there was also
so she's not trying to give him explicit instructions to be like, okay, you know, give him this pamphlet and quiz him on the multiple choice questions A through Z. It's like, no, like.
She did have a line I liked where she said, sometimes the student guides the master.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, that's cool.
Which is what happened in The Last Jedi with Rey and Luke.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah, it's all.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I mean, it's got us thinking and talking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, because I like talking to you guys, but at the same time,
if we weren't doing this show, I'd be watching Big Brother.
I would be, yes, live feeds right now.
Live
but
feeds.
I wouldn't be talking about Luke, because that's not what this fucking show is about. It's about Book of Boba Fett. And I saw the tweet thread where it's like Boba Fett met Luke on Return of the Jedi and impacted him. Fuck off. Like, yes, Han accidentally killed Boba Fett. Boba Fett was after Luke and Empire. But it's like, those characters don't give a fuck about each other, to be honest. It's just like, it's such a stretch to say Luke makes sense in the show because they've met before. That's not it.
It's a book, you see.
And I haven't seen Boba Fett since chapter 4.
Hey, sometimes books don't stick around. But no, okay. Actually, I wanted to make a point to what Card's saying earlier about the uncanny valley.
Yeah.
Because it was interesting because obviously when we watched the finale of season 2, we were like, yeah, that's uncanny valley.
Mm-hmm.
But it was funny because as I'm watching this, it actually became a two sides of the same coin because I was like, I don't get the uncanny valley from this. I'm very convinced that like they pulled this off, but that's the double edge of it. Is like I'm watching it and I'm like, all I'm thinking about is like it's so good, and I'm like, but that's just bringing me back that it's an effect. I'm still aware that it's an effect. It's so good, it's too good, I guess.
And part of me wishes
because we're not in 1980.
Part of me wishes I was like detached from like fandom and like knowing every behind the scenes detail and filmmaking because I feel like I would sit with it and be dissolved in it more, and maybe that's just the poison that we choose to live with, being obsessed with this shit.
And I think that's where our hype and strength comes from, like animated properties, because we can just we can clock right into that like on a whim because there's nothing to like match the realism that came before. You can have your own art style and your own like voice work and whatever, and we'll just like
your own type of view. Yeah.
So I think that's the strongest case I've ever been able to make for the animations. Yeah, no, and especially I think the other thing too is this whole show in general takes so much aggregate knowledge of everything just to like
you know, like you would have, especially like, you know, you would have to kind of get the Boba stuff from Clone Wars to like kind of tap into this show, and then obviously you got to be somewhat knowledgeable of who Ahsoka is, and you know, and so it's so interesting as we keep going in this storytelling, how many layers of knowledge they expect to do the work for them, and then sometimes I feel like they hinge on that too much and don't actually like tell anything in the present, like a character, you know what I mean? Like it's
I agree, or connected to the main aspect of the show.
right. So that's what a little bit of what I felt during the Luke and Ahsoka scene is more so of just that gloss of, hey, Luke and Ahsoka, but like it's not their first meeting, but they're talking. Look,
isn't it cool?
So it very much has that vibe, and so, and again, this could be me just like totally absorbing too much of this whole meta thing of this 40-year stories of how many shows and movies and everything we've rolled into all of this. However, I can't pinpoint it, but I'm sitting here watching some of these scenes, and off is not the right word, because it does nothing. It's beyond the visual effects, beyond, you know, a animated character now being in live action. I'm just watching the scenes and I don't know what it is. I'm just sitting there, I'm like, I don't know how to feel about it. And it you know, even story aside, I'm like, there's something in the execution that's a little weird too, that I don't know.
I'm the same way.
And that's what makes it so hard to like try and talk about it, because I'm like, I don't know. Like it changes for me like daily. I just think about this all the time. I'm like, did I like that? Did I like this episode overall? Like, so
you know what's funny is really early this morning I got him. My dad started messaging me, and you know he's not like, he hasn't watched like the animated stuff or whatever, and he's like, my dude, how do you feel about episode 6? And I was like, pretty jam-packed. And he's like, he asked me questions. He's like, I like the chainmail he got. He's like, what decision do you think you'll make? And I'm like,
are you serious?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think he's just making conversation with me.
Yeah.
But I'm like, he's definitely going back with Din. And he's like, that's what I think too. and I was like,
that's cool.
And I was like, yeah, it's good stuff. I was like impressed by the Luke VFX. And he's like, why do you think Grogu will return to Mando? And I'm like, because they're the heart and soul of the show. And he's like, you're right. And it's just funny. And I also said another thing. I'm like, plus, you know, that little that bubble on his ship, like obviously it's for Grogu. And he's like, stop making sense.
And the lightsaber looked pretty stupid.
It's Yoda's saber.
It would look pretty stupid if Grogu held it. Sorry.
So then
it's big.
I do. Then this whole thing with Grogu specifically, like obviously I love the character, and we got our Order 66 flashback, which is. Like,
what do you guys think of the flashback? I didn't think anything about it. It was like meh.
Well, I mean,
random Jedi getting hit with clones.
I like the reflection in his eyes.
Well,
I like that was pretty cool. I like that. Yeah.
My idiot self is swept up because I'm like, oh, practical clone armor. They didn't have that. But also, I mean, I don't know what the situation of his escape is going to be, or like what's going to be revealed there, because we're probably going to revisit it again. I think even more so, I think it's kind of messed up that after Luke unlocked that later when he's trying to meditate, Luke's just like swinging his saber, practicing moves, and I'm like, you just saw this man see flashing
was that
blades.
After that?
That was after, and I'm just like this. They just put this in just because. I'm fully aware.
And I did again, similar to the whole storyline. It didn't really add anything to the show. I'm just like,
I just wonder,
what was the point of the flashback? Really, like, I'll help you remember. Boom.
Yeah. There.
Remembered it now. It's like, okay, thank you for that.
I wonder what they're going with Grogu. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
It makes me think like I feel like we have a better sense of where Din's going at this point, but
hopefully,
with Grogu, it's interesting because is he going to ever evolve from his infancy? Is he ever going to like talk and like?
I hope not.
Someone pitched a theory of just like end a show thing, like way down the line, for like end of show, like future
season
flash
4.
forward of if Grogu would be like, of an older age, being the one wielding the Darksaber, being of both Jedi and Mando descent, bridging that.
Not like this.
Oh, hold on, Evan. It could be.
Oh,
like
so
this.
it'd be like that. The what's it called?
Tar Vizsla?
Epilogue
Oh,
of
epilogue.
the show.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, like the end. And
I think Darksaber is gonna be destroyed. Personally.
okay.
But continue your theory. Is that it? Was that it, Nathan?
Yeah, I'm interested.
Well, yeah, basically just like it coming to the end, like even like say like you're like well past Din, and Grogu is such a long living creature that like
Right.
if he's like the now set descendant of Din, being of of the creed of Mandalorian, but also coming from the training of Jedi of an era, being of both sides, like the original forger of the Darksaber. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
He's Din's living legacy.
But then,
Yeah, that's cool.
man, how do we feel about where's Grogu? I mean, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter where he is during the sequel trilogy. I just think it's interesting if
Don't even get me started on that.
if he's gonna have such a high mantle, that's why I'm just. I personally don't care, and I could make any.
I mean,
excuse in
it
my
doesn't
head.
matter where he is because he's
Yeah.
not becoming a Jedi. He's just not. He made his choice. He's with the Mandalorian. That's where he was during the sequel trilogy. He's being a Mandalorian. He's not being a Jedi. He doesn't want to be a Jedi. He made his choice. I think at least, which is to be
So
expected.
Is he
He
just
wants to be with his
stay
people.
with Din forever?
I think so. Why not?
I think it's odd because like I can't really think that far ahead of Grogu's future because he's got 850 more years, and
Yeah.
if we're staying within
in
the
terms
lifetime of everybody,
in terms of the end of Mandalorian, I'm like, where?
yeah. I mean, even by the end of Mando, I only see an infant.
Right?
Yeah.
Is he just unchanged? He just by Din's side wherever Din ends up. I guess.
I think it's interesting.
It re-enters my depressing thought of thinking about back on the Bad Batch too. I'm just like, hey man, this family's great, but we're still in the middle of like 3 fucking civil wars, and like they're never gonna live in peace, and I'm sad.
Right.
But I don't know.
I think
Also, my dad. I was just like, because I wanted to know. I was like, "Are you aware of like who Ahsoka is?" And he's like, "Not really."
Oh.
I'm like, "Well, it's Anakin's Padawan." He's like, "Oh,
You didn't miss much. No,
I missed a lot."
I'm kidding.
I had a full breakdown of Cad Bane. But,
It's interesting because on one hand, Grogu's development here of him making the choice to go with Din was cute. I like that he's going to be with Din. I don't like that they made it a cliffhanger because it's not a cliffhanger. We all knew this when he was taken away
and what
in
are
the
you gonna
first
do?
place.
And what are you gonna do if they cut back and Grogu says his first words?
I wouldn't. It depends on execution. I think his last words could be the end of the show. He doesn't need to talk to be any more impactful. It wouldn't be. I don't see what him talking would add to the show. I don't see it. But
My boy speaking in riddles.
yeah, I guess that's it with the Luke thing. It just it felt so. It made the show feel unfocused. I paused it and it was like 28 minutes into the show. I'm like, we're finally done. Let's finally get somewhere interesting. Let's finally go back to the story at hand. Because we're losing focus right now. And while the Grogu thing was interesting, I can see a parallel to kind of stretch Grogu making the choice to be what he wants, going with his attachments,
His tribe,
in sense that Boba Fett was constructing his tribe throughout the series, changing, going away from his past, like Grogu's going away from his past. I can see a connection there, but again, I'm stretching and I don't need it. But that's just me. Let's go to Tatooine. Let's talk about our homeboy.
Yeah. So.
Oh wait, no, we have to talk to. We first see Cobb.
we
and
first
Din,
see
right?
Mando again.
Yeah.
Again.
We see Mando again. He arrives at Jabba's palace, which, to that point, if you just pick back up with Din there, you could take all of the Luke stuff and just make that the premiere of season 3. You don't have to have it in Book of Boba because I do not see Luke having an effect on the finale whatsoever.
I don't.
1,000, a million, quadrillion% agree with you. I still wouldn't like it in Mando season 3. I wouldn't need it. I'll feel it the same way, but it would make slightly more sense because Grogu's the main character in that show. But yeah, I agree with you. I like this could have been an email for Book of Boba Fett.
It is funny because like if you just like I mean yeah you can have like all the armor stuff in the building of the ship and this Grogu stuff as a part of like the first episode of season 3. If you just like swap out that bounty hunter mission to be a bounty hunting mission on Tatooine, then you could just like jump right here.
Yeah, but I kind of did like the first half of last week's episode.
Oh,
like that related to Boba Fett a lot in terms of Din sticking with his tribe. Mm-hmm. And not making his own decision that he should make by going away from the armor. That relates heavily to Boba Fett's journey. Mm-hmm. But yeah, in general, yeah, we see Din here. Does Boba Fett even say a word in this meeting?
He says the Mandalorian. Our friend the Mandalorian.
If he does, let me look back right now.
I'm pretty sure he says.
Please do. And at the same time, we mentioned this off screen, Carson and I. Does Fennec? What is the deal with Fennec? We had one episode with her, and I feel like the spotlight. It was in the flashback. In the present, we don't really get much from her besides her in episode 1 saying, "I don't agree with you."
There still hasn't been any conflict between Fennec and Boba, which I'm really sad about.
I'm sad about as well. Yeah. I wanted her to have conflict, even if she doesn't have conflict. What are her thoughts on everything going on with the Pikes? What are her thoughts?
Opinion,
she's riffing off of Boba. Yeah,
right.
She's like, "What do you need, Boba? We need more men, Boba. We're gonna need muscle, Boba.
What about the scars on the inside? Ha ha ha."
Yeah.
What about your scars, Fennec?
Yeah. Come on. Tell us about the Bad Batch.
So yes, Fennec is the one that introduced Mando. So Boba has said nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing in the entire episode.
I'm looking. I'm just watching the scene.
No, he says something.
I'm gonna keep watching.
Please watch. Please do. I don't want to be proven right here. Yeah. We don't want to get copyrighted.
I was shocked, Bob.
DMCA.
But yeah, it's a fine scene. It's really cool.
They're talking about the Pikes and the families again, but it's fine.
I talked to my brother. I'm like, I can breathe again. And finally, we're back to the main plot line. I was like, okay, now we're getting into this nitty gritty.
I just wish we spent time like seeing that plot line, instead of talking about it.
Give me what other
up to speed on it.
You didn't see anything? Oh no.
He says something.
Mando says, "I think I can help with that." In terms of foot soldiers, and Boba's like looking at him. He looks over at Fennec, and they have cut to the Krayt Dragon on the Jawa.
No way.
He has said nothing.
No way.
2 episodes in a row where our main character says Jack jiddly squat.
Well, he said.
What did he say last
week?
No,
he wasn't in last week.
He wasn't in last week. 2 episodes in a row. What the
fuck? Nathan's laugh was simply the best thing. Holy shit.
Time that.
I think we're all going crazy. Holy
what the fuck?
Let me just
Poor Tamora Morrison, man.
I'm going mad.
It's interesting because this is a show. I'll talk about it more with the finale, but this is a show I didn't really care for.
Right.
But when you
get
me invested,
started championing it. We're like episode 4. You know what?
When you get me invested with the show after episode 2, especially, I'm like, okay, I'm hooked. I'm liking this. But then it's like, man, they dropped the ball with his character.
Okay. Well,
let's go on.
I think. Look, we're going up from here. I think
we are.
Right,
we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they have that meeting, and they said we're gonna need foot soldiers, and Mando says I think I can help with that. And as soon as they cut over to like the Sandcrawler, the Krayt Dragon, I'm like, let's go, Mospel go. And it's great setup. So first Din lands and he has that standoff with the deputy. Turns out the deputy is actually Tamora Morrison's stunt double for this season.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so that's cool.
That's awesome.
But yeah, they have that confrontation, and then our boy Cobb Vanth walks out, and goddamn, I'm just so happy he's here. I really am. So they take their conversation inside where they started season 2. They've now put the bones, the ribs of the Krayt Dragon in the interior, which is cool. They have that conversation.
I love this conversation. They're like talking about just like, because Mando's absolutely right. It's like, they're gonna run spice. It's gonna become your problem at some point.
I like this though. It's a common trope we see in a lot of Star Wars, where it's like, you guys better be ready. They're like, no, we don't need to be ready. then shit hits the fan. They're like, okay, shoot, maybe we need.
Yeah,
to.
it's the classic.
Yeah.
This happens in Clone Wars so many times of like
Mm-hmm.
when they land on a planet, they're like, "No, we must remain neutral in your affairs of the Republic," and
Which is fair, but at the
which
same
is
time,
fair, and then they realize that
oh shoot,
you know,
separatists are more evil. Than
evil is
they are.
evil, and evil will always gloom
Yeah.
and doom. And so we gotta cut it off when we can.
It's a tragedy of war. But yeah, in this case, yeah, help us out. The Pikes aren't gonna do anything. You know, in the long term, you're gonna need our help. And the Marshal Cobb family can't be helping out against Pikes every single day. It's
Right.
One day they're gonna bring 10 people, and he's gonna be screwed. So
Yeah, and I think it like really clicks with them, like because even the bartender's like, it's not our fight. But you know, I don't think Cobb has told anybody about his confrontation with the Pikes coming through here, so he just knows like, yeah, you know what, it's gonna get worse.
But at the same time, guys, wouldn't it have been better if Boba was in this scene and not Din? Like, I understand Din is the one with the connection, but bring Din on in the Fett ship, Slave One. Have them touch down together and have that talk as a trio. I think that would have been a bit better.
Yeah. If like Boba was the one saying like they're gonna keep coming and like have him say everything Din's saying, but then have Din there backing Boba.
Yes.
Yeah. However, I do
Just
like
smart
this.
of it.
I do love the seeds of doubt. Because the best line in this episode comes from our boy when he says Boba Fett is a trained killer and worked for the Empire.
Oh, well, hold on now.
Best line in the entire fucking episode is
I agree.
baking his character down to the start of what he was and sowing doubt in people that are supposed to be his potential allies and have not met him really in person.
That was great.
Well, let's discuss the stranger that came from the desert. Man,
I was shocked.
This was the best part of the episode, hands down.
Oh, I know.
Easily.
So again, I was saying it on our solo commentary, just because of Pike connections and stuff. I'm sitting here and I'm like, say it is Kira, because I can't make out yet who's coming. And I'm like,
come on, Nathan.
I'm sitting here. I'm like, ain't no way, ain't no fucking way.
I was like, they're doing it now.
Because I'm sitting here and I do see like the flap of the coat and I'm just like, I'm still in like shock because they already gave me Cobb, Vanth, Luke, and Ahsoka all at once, and I'm like, there's no way, there's more. And then you see just like the blue and you just see the brim, and I'm just like, I screeched. Oh man,
I lost my mind.
It looks phenomenal. It really does.
Yeah.
I've always wondered like how would that translate to live action, and god damn it, they did wonders with the prosthetics.
Pretty
The teeth are
good.
particularly scary, and
Yeah,
accurate.
and the lips, someone's like, go on, that's chapstick.
and this makes perfect sense, and I think this is going to be the pinnacle of next week's conflict, because what better way to cap end this with somebody that was originally kind of a mentor figure to Boba Fett in an inadvertent way, right?
In a total way, he was.
Total way.
Yeah.
What better way to bring that back and have somebody like Cad, who hasn't changed at all, against Boba, who has changed, and that ideology being straight at the head with each other.
It makes
That's
so much
perfect.
sense. It makes so much sense.
That to me is like the perfect way. Like the two best character introduction, or like the two best characters that we've seen before that have been brought into these shows have been Katie Sackhoff with Bo-Katan, and now I think Cad Bane, because I think they're so relevant to each character's current journey that it makes sense for them to show up and go against that, which I think is so cool.
I
Cad
love
Bane
it so
show.
much. Please, just don't put Luke in it. Yeah, Cad Bane coming in here makes total sense. People have been theorizing this from the beginning. He was a mentor to Boba. He was kind of like the darkness in Boba, where Jango died, Boba Fett, not Boba Fett, Cad Bane and Aurra Sing filled that void for Boba at a time when he was very troubled, and that kind of led to that dark path he went down on. But then, as we saw, he left Aurra Sing, he left Cad Bane, And he kind of moved on to try and do a solo thing. They had a deleted scene shootout that apparently happened, but I'm happy.
Well, yeah, thanks to Bad Batch.
Thanks to the Bad Batch, yeah. But I'm so happy that he's in here because, like Carson already said, this makes so much sense on a thematic level. Like, he makes sense for this show. And these are the kind of cameos that I love to see. This is what I love to see from Boba Fett. Like, okay, Lucasfilm, we get it. He's great. Even if you've never fucking heard of Cad Bane, you see a dark guy who teases that he knew Boba Fett before, as Carson said, like, this guy worked for the Empire. He's a cold-blooded killer. That's what Cad Bane thinks he is. He hasn't seen Boba as we have seen him in the first 4 episodes. He hasn't seen that change. So to see these two guys possibly go head-to-head, I hope we get some kind of great Western duel conversation. Not just shoot him up, bang, bang. Not some Mando comes in. Like, just give these two guys a room and just...
Give me, like, a chase fight. I would love, like, a chase fight of them going around. You know, the equivalent to something where, like... You know, like when Rey and Kylo are fighting on Starkiller Base, they have those wonderful pauses in between, just like the energy of the fight, and they talk to each other. I want something like that kind of energy in a fight, because those are the best Star Wars fights, when they pause, they're out of energy, they're trying to talk each other down or intimidate one another or do something. Those are the best Star Wars fights to me, is when those pauses happen.
It's why the Luke versus Ben crate fight is my favorite.
Yeah, exactly.
It's okay. I'm kidding. I love it. I love it. I know. But part of me does fear they could go with the theme that Cad Bane has no body besides the Pikes who don't really like Cad Bane. They're just using him. While Boba has a family behind him. He has his tribe now. So we could get the cliche version of, like, you're surrounded, Cad Bane. We got you all. Like, you're surrounded, and I have my tribe now, bitch. Like, I can see that happening.
This is Mos Espa.
I can see that happening where we don't get a solo conversation,
as much as I fucking love
but we do
that
get a big scene like that. I don't want that to happen. I can see.
Pulls up.
I know. God.
Chris Hansen comes up.
Oh God.
Oh wait, I think it's Chris Hansen. I was like, what? Kevin wants
the host of The Bachelor.
No, fucking the fucking pedophile catcher.
Oh gosh.
Kevin Hansen. We understand you were trying to steal some Jedi children.
But I hope that we get a
little lady. I'll be right back.
But I want Cad Bane and Boba to have their moment, and then you can bring in the tribe aspect. I just don't want the tribe to dominate the conversation. But again, we still haven't gotten the Boba Fett Mando conversation that we thought was obvious, but I guess they're not going to do that.
And I think we need some resolution too, which is his overall likeness on Tatooine. Especially because of the end of this episode. Or wait, did we skip that part?
I guess we did, didn't we?
Oh, we totally skipped that part. When they blow up the
sanctuary bar, yeah.
Because that's gonna rally them to Boba's side even more, I think.
Big time. They blew up the bar.
Oh yeah.
By Max Rebo.
My Twilight Queen, no.
I don't like that they killed her. Why?
Right? I'm mad.
She was an interesting character. At least she could have been.
She could have been, yeah.
Yeah, I would have.
Did they Sandy Newton her?
Yeah.
Damn it.
For Luke's screen time?
Yeah. Anyways, I think I want to see some resolution.
I'm upset because I'm attracted.
I want to see some resolution with that in terms of people at least respecting Boba, you know, and
I agree
to build a better society on Tatooine, essentially.
We got to move on, but in terms of predictions for the finale, I think, by the end of this series, he has to be the kind of guy that people rally behind.
Yeah.
And I think he's there already, but his defeat, him causing the defeat of the Pikes will
solidify it.
We'll solidify it, and it'll get people on his side, rally behind him. I think that'd be a good setup to the event they want later on in the Mando world. But I just want to see where Boba is by the end of this show because he hasn't spoken in 2 episodes, just pissing me off. But I want to see how he stands, how he feels. I don't want a season 2. If this is what we get, I don't want a season 2. But
well, if they rectify it and give you what you wanted first,
they're not gonna rectify it.
I know.
They're not.
Just call it Star Wars at this point. Fuck it. Just call it Star Wars.
But you know, Kathleen Kennedy did tease this is the next story in the chapter of the Mandalorian. This show was called Book of Boba Fett. F off with that.
All right.
She said December.
Let me talk about something
Right.
So, the Western vibes are immaculate.
Yes.
With Cad Bane and stuff, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, if they will never.
I haven't seen Tombstone, Nathan. Okay.
I know, but you're gonna listen anyway. Man, if they give me a Star Wars, I would do this duel just like this because goddamn it, it's immaculate, and it's interesting because Cad Bane kind of already looks like Doc Holliday, but this is his move, and I'm trying to use it against Cad. I think it's the way you would beat Cad because you can get ahead of his quick draw. Call it cheating, I don't care. It's fucking lawless time, it doesn't matter.
Wow.
The crime syndicates and the underbellies of the fucking Corellia.
God, I love that movie. Can we go back?
Can we go back to yesterday? Anyway, there's a great move that like Doc Holliday pulls is like he dual wields usually.
Right.
So what he does when he comes out is like obviously everyone's just like hovering over their fucking holster, just like who's gonna draw first. But Doc comes in like all like, you know, hand behind his back because, you know, he's a very eccentric person. So the idea is to be holding a pistol behind you, and so when they go to draw, you just kind of like turn enough that like you're pointed at the gun already and you fire and
Behind
you win the
back.
duel. And my thought process, not to take away shine from Boba for a big computation, but Cobb was shot in his shoulder. So I think he's alive. Obviously he's going to have an injury, but if he can muster up enough strength to just like hold it straight, that would be a good play. It'd be like, oh, your arm's out of whack, but you're going to try again, and Cad underestimating him, and then fucking bang with the supposed limp arm in that same style to take him down would be kind of cool.
I really like that idea. That's great. If it comes true, you heard it here first, guys.
You heard it.
They won't, but I would love it. I would love to be watching the Disney Gallery and John like, so we're a big fan of Tombstone. I'm like, yes. Disney owns Tombstone now, which is interesting.
I just checked. It's on Amazon Prime too. I gotta watch it. But yeah, they blow up the sanctuary. We have the Cad Bane fight, and then they go back to Luke, and I was like, come on. But
Oh, they did, yeah.
again, we kind of already talked about it. He got chainmail. Grogu says yes. I mean, they cliffhanger it, but Grogu's definitely saying yes to going back to.
What are you
Din.
gonna do if he says no?
I'm walking out.
What are you gonna do if Han Solo's in the next episode?
Oh,
I'm
fine,
walking out.
okay.
I'll watch it because I gotta review the show. But
He's under
If
contract.
Harrison Ford himself
there's no room.
walks
The
in,
show
I
is
can't see it.
they overstuffed this finale, and I as a preemptive
I'm worried,
critique,
Bob.
but I think they are going to overstuff this finale.
There's no room. Look at my thumbnail. There's no room.
We got Rancors, we got the people rising up, the conclusion to Boba's arc. Din, what's he gonna do? Is Din and Boba gonna have a fucking talk? Probably not. They don't care. Are we gonna have? Is Grogu gonna show up with this?
No,
with,
I don't think Grogu and Luke are shot.
If they cliffhanger it on the last episode, would they resolve it 2 years later when Mando season 3 comes out? I don't know. I don't think so.
I think it could end with like Mando getting a ping, maybe like a message from Ahsoka, just like,
Hey.
"Come get him, come get your man's."
I dropped him off at UDF. Can you get him, please? Yeah, that's about it for my predictions. I don't care. We'll
He's
see.
at the
What happens.
YMCA. Pick him up.
Again, this whole Disney Plus thing where they have to overstuff the finales, where it's like, oh, comes your finale. That's where the big stuff happens.
Gotta get
You don't
the
have to
buzz.
do that.
Gotta get the buzz, John.
You don't have to do that to all your Disney Plus shows. Just make it consistently, not epic, consistent, great show. Again, we talked about off-air, Carson, but Arcane had a great finale where it's like, The finale is the dinner table
Don't
scene.
even compare. Don't even talk.
I know, right? It's not even. It's apples to what's less than apples? Grapes.
Oh, grapes are good too.
Red grapes then.
Fuck red grapes.
Exactly.
Well, red grapes are all right. But
They're
green
always
grapes.
soft, dude.
Yeah. Anyways, that's Book of Boba Fett / Mando. Hopefully, Boba can speak next week.
Amen.
Yeah.
Up next, because
At this point,
Yeah, sorry.
if Han shows up in a capacity, I don't even think it's gonna be a thing of just like Boba Fett. Like, no, I don't think he's gonna be in the same.
He wouldn't care.
No, he
So
wouldn't. I don't.
wrong.
Which is why I don't think he'd be there. I feel like if he's gonna be anywhere, it's gonna be around Luke, and it's just like fuck it, he's got baby. It's something like that.
If he can deliver Ben Solo with a blue butterfly,
I'm walking in.
I'm walking in. I'm renewing my subscription for a year.
but that'd be way later. Man.
What a life.
So we're 20 minutes past what we said.
What a life we live.
But how do we talk about the episode for an hour and 20 minutes, guys? How do we do that?
Yeah.
How does it happen?
Life
We get-
finds a way.
Find a way. Yeah. Okay.
Oh god, you remind me.
Thank
of
you,
watching
Jeff.
Jurassic World movies.
We're
Oh,
doing
don't
that this
worry.
year, baby.
Don't worry, we'll get to Jurassic Park 3.
Fuck yeah. Let's
Alan.
go.
Alan.
Alan.
Great stuff. Masterpiece. Better than Fallen Kingdom? Yes,
No.
easily.
Yes.
Fallen Kingdom best since the first. I don't care.
Chaotic
will-
King Nathan.
Oh, I will die on the hill and we'll watch it, and
Oh.
you all be just like, "Oh my god, what are they doing?" I'm just like, "Isn't this great?"
Evan, do you see the long-necked dinosaur dying with the fire and the
The
smoke?
Brachiosaur, my favorite dinosaur.
It's okay.
I didn't ask.
I used to know dinosaurs off the top of my head. Now I know raptors.
There's the Velociraptor. and
Spinosaurus. Spinosaurus is the best.
What's the
one.
other news?
Oh, okay. So Obi-Wan
Oops.
is coming out in May, which we kind of already knew.
Uh-huh.
If you're a Star Wars fan, you're like, okay, this show is coming out this summer.
Jordan said the rumored dates were either May 4th or May 25th
Or June
Yeah.
1st.
or June
Which is
1st,
interesting because the 25th is the day before celebration.
before celebration.
Which would be off.
Which I
can see them try and argue
don't-
it.
Why can't they make it a Friday show? Does it have to be a Wednesday show? Is that written in blood over in the mouse house?
Well, May 4th is a Wednesday.
And 4th is a Wednesday, 25th is a Wednesday, June 1st
I
is
know.
a Wednesday. So yeah, this is going to be a Wednesday show. And yeah, we kind of already talked about this, Carson, but May 4th makes sense. My birthday, I love it.
but do you
but it-
do you
but
see
what-
them? We would be
halfway
we'd be
through the show.
three episodes in at least to
we would
a
be
6-episode limited
'Cause
we'd
series.
be foreign if it premieres
Yeah.
on the 4th.
Your argument is
4 out
that,
of 6.
well, then what would they show at Celebration? But Celebration, they have so many other things they could talk about, right?
Right, but are they wanting us to watch episode 4 of Obi-Wan when we're all traveling? I guess it doesn't matter. It's a bigger audience than that, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem off to me.
That would. I mean, I think June 1st works the best.
I agree.
Where it's
And
like,
I think
yeah,
what's gonna
your
happen
theory.
is they're gonna show us either like the first 15 minutes
Mm.
or the first full episode at Celebration, and then
I
they will
can-
drop it on June 1st
I can see it.
because it's like a 3-day thing gap from that.
I could see it, Bobby. That works.
If it's like a Saturday panel, in that case, drop the first episode to us.
We're all gonna be in that fucking auditorium. The lights are gonna dim, and everyone's just like shh. And we're just sitting there, and you just hear Luke. Everyone's just like, ah!
He said his name.
Holy shit!
Which is funny because like we're having a laugh right now, but like when that
Oh,
fucking
I will be.
when that happens
We
in
would.
Rebels, I'm fucking crying.
I wasn't.
Well, they do
I
it
was
after
more
the most,
emotional.
like, second most emotional fucking episode in the show, and they're just...
Oh yeah, I mean it's my favorite animated duel, and then I'm just like
It was
who did-
controversial when it first aired. Remember that?
Yeah, people were like, I want
We
to
at
do
like
it.
3 in the
it.
morning on the Disney XD app.
People hated that fight. Hated it.
God, I would not want that rectified. in
The
my
Twitter
elections.
streets were
Where are
awful.
you, Dave? Where are you?
The Twitter streets were
Come
bad,
back!
man.
Come
Yeah.
back, Dave.
Yeah, where's he been? John took him for a ride.
John put something in his
His
chef
tea.
cooking that messed with Filoni.
Yeah.
He's kept him under.
Lupin, come on.
But what was I gonna say? So yeah, I'm going with. Part of me wants to go with May though before June. I think June makes a lot of sense. I would like to see it, but part of me feels like it's going to be May 4th.
Could be.
But
Maybe-
also, if we, yeah, Nathan, sorry.
What? How early was the Boba Fett trailer? Like I know it came later.
October?
Okay.
Was it?
October, really?
For
Oh,
a
'cause-
December show? Wasn't it like late
No
October?
way.
Because I know it would be like way too late, but I mean my brain was like thinking, well, the trailer was May 4th, and then the show was the 20th.
No way. They don't do the trailer in the same month. That's
I
way
know
too late.
that is pretty late.
Official trailer was November 1st.
But at the same time,
That's
Book of
2
Boba
months
was like,
before.
Book of Boba was like, here's a simple trailer, and here's a 30-second spot every week.
Right.
Yeah, November 1st was the first trailer. It seems like
Hmm.
TV,
That's
TV
2
spots.
months before.
TV spots came in December.
When do when do you guys think we get a trailer then?
April.
April 1st.
Yeah, I mean we had a question earlier.
No.
No.
Maybe I don't know.
Too much money.
Actually-
For the mouse.
You don't really
Not
need it
too
for
much money.
Kenobi at
Yeah,
all.
You don't need it for Kenobi, nor do you need it really for a Disney Plus show.
Moon Knight, you could. They
If
did.
it
They
was
did.
like a new show that they're like trying to like get new subscribers, but like these shows are mostly for Star Wars people to stay.
Yeah,
Mm.
they could do the. They did last year. They did the WandaVision, Loki, and Falcon
That's
Winter
true.
Soldiers.
Like
Like,
a combined.
armor up, baby.
You're right. They can be a combined 2022 Star Wars spot with
Solo.
uh.
Didn't Solo release on May 25th?
They needed that though. Yeah, it did.
mhm.
I thought somewhere along those dates.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
a
it was
Memorial
Memorial Day
weekend.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, slaughtered. But yeah, it just also
Yeah.
this also could coincide with what are you, Paul Greengrass?
What?
That's a Bourne reference, baby.
No, I know, but wait, I think I didn't hear it.
Born's like this.
I said Paul Greengrass, the director of Paul Greengrass.
Fucking just the cuts over the shoulders, like someone's listening in.
Jesus Christ.
Jason.
Also,
Share my thoughts.
when asked about the Bad Batch,
Hmm.
Jordan said he's thinking April-ish.
Yeah.
Interesting. That makes sense.
They did say spring on that one weird. What was it on? Where we saw spring 2022? It was like it was leaked somewhere.
I think it was in Star Wars Insider.
Star Wars Insider. Yeah. Isn't that crazy how we get Star Wars news, guys?
Yeah.
But
Look at us.
look at us.
Scoop.
But that could coincide with the theory that we get half of the episodes before Obi-Wan and half the episodes after Obi-Wan.
I
So
kind of
it-
subscribe
hiatus?
to that.
if they do it May 25th or June 1st, we could get, if it starts in April 1st, we could get 8 episodes, then a break after Obi-Wan, and then 8 episodes again.
Show
for
us the-
for a total of 16 episodes.
Ooh, I got it. Show us the Bad Batch mid-season finale at Celebration.
Oh, cliffhangers there.
Cliffhanger us at Celebration. That'd be cool.
It's Boba Fett.
Nah, they won't do that.
Pre-development.
I don't know. I think it'd be pretty cool if we got the mid-season finale of Bad Batch and the first episode of Kenobi at Celebration.
Just do a panel. It shows the first episode of part 2 of Bad Batch.
True.
We got a
If
clip.
we-
It's unfinished.
Yeah, here's Ahsoka riding in 1313.
Or maybe we have an animated show and Kenobi airing at the same time. Who's to say?
That would be cool. I just don't see
Who
that
is to
happening.
say? Who is
Or
to
we-
say?
I am just
Hey,
saying.
Christian Harloff.
I am the one that knocks.
We've talked about it for 5 years. What if there's 2 movies a year? What if there's blah blah blah?
I can see. I mean, I know, like for like the Star Wars demographic, I mean, us super fans are like, it's for all of us. But then there could be just the different demographic. Some for kids, some for.
There's
adults.
no way they release Bad Batch and Obi-Wan on Wednesday at the same time.
Well, maybe they do Wednesday, Friday.
I would say they do Friday for Bad Batch.
Oh.
And suddenly, he's on board.
That would make sense.
Not to say any of these days fucking matter when it's 2 a.m.
Yeah, fucking A. Garbage. Hate it.
Remember
my god, you're telling me they're gonna drop
stay up for that? Mando season 1, we were like, all right.
I don't.
Every episode.
I stayed up for that Mando season 1.
We were up every episode.
For the Mando season, I was up.
Why did I do that?
Why did I do
that? I didn't do that at all for Mando season 2.
Are we gonna be at Celebration and like, we need rest for the convention for the full day, but it's 3 a.m.
Fuck me. I guess that's it though, right?
Yeah.
I think let's lock it down, or let's not lock it down.
Let's give our prediction.
Yeah,
215 million.
God.
Fuck you.
215 million streams.
I'm liking this new date of June 1st. I'm going June 1st with the speculation that there will be a big Saturday panel for Kenobi with Ewan and Hayden there, and we will see at least 15 minutes of the first episode at that panel.
I want to go June 1st so badly because it makes the most sense. I love that idea a lot, Carson, but I've heard too many corroborating reports about May. I'm going May 4th. Because May 25th seems off.
But this original release date of Star Wars.
I am down with Carson's idea, and what I think we will see at the panel is we will, like we did with the beginning of Mando, we'll get some clips. I think what we'll see is probably Obi-Wan saving some people getting roughed up in the desert. It's going to be a badass moment. It's going to be a cool set piece. We'll get a little, maybe a little tease. We'll get a little hint of Obi-Wan watching over the homestead, Ben keeping him away, or Owen keeping him away.
You know what's going to end on.
And they'll probably like set up Inquisitor stuff, or
no.
What?
No way we see footage. Oh, we'll see Vader footage.
They're going to end on Vader.
Yeah. Well, what I was going to say is like
I thought you meant the fight. I was like,
what I was going to say is like we finished the clip with like this setup of like, oh, fucking something's going on, and then the music ramps up, and then we get a little sizzle. That's basically like a TV spot tease.
Sun King, all the new characters.
It's like boom, boom, boom. Vader breath. Fucking crowd goes wild.
I had a blast working on set. It was really cool. The volume is magical.
Okay, well, I'm not talking about interviews.
Listen.
Look, Doug Chang or John Knoll building props in his garage.
I couldn't see where the wall ended and where it began. It was so magical.
I need a fucking blooper of someone walking like their face first into the fucking volume. I need it.
I'm tired of it.
Breaks the $1 million screen.
I used to be so excited about the volume. Now I'm just like exhausted.
I'm tired, Bob.
I'm tired.
I'm not tired. I don't pay as much attention. I don't know why you guys are so hung up.
I think Cassian's gonna look so different because it wasn't on the volume. Yeah. I think it's gonna be like, whoa,
exciting. Yeah, because I can just tell now, especially in Boba Fett, with the not rush production, but just they finished filming fairly quickly.
See, now when they can't match the lighting, you come crawling back.
I can just tell now. Anyways, so you guys are going June 1st. Yep. May 25th just seems bad. Like a day before celebration.
It does. No way.
It could make sense. Like, hey guys, we just saw Obi-Wan last night.
Yeah, hey. It's weird that it's the day before, and it'd be weird if we're getting the 4th episode the day before.
Because it kind of is the day before, but kind of isn't, because like, it'll be Tuesday night. Celebration starts Thursday morning.
Yeah, but Tuesday at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
We'll all be traveling.
Well, I mean, shit. I guess on the coast we're at, it would be midnight.
True.
I wouldn't be there yet.
Oh. I'm so sorry.
I'm having to miss my last day of school.
Fuck them kids. Let's go.
For real.
My last day of school is technically Thursday, but
your last day is whenever you want. Exactly. You're leaving.
I'm leaving. I'm calling in sick.
Are you doing another year? I don't think so.
That's awkward. But this revolution would not be televised. But let's talk about
The revolution is live.
So other news. I guess in the same vein, since we're talking about Kenobi, there's Kenobi comics coming. I think in May.
Yeah,
Old man Kenobi comics, right?
Yeah, I saw people freaking out on Twitter. They were like, "You scared me with this," because they were just like, "Obi-Wan come in May." Marvel. Oh shit.
I think is it May or am I wrong?
No, you're right. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's May.
Yeah, which is really cool. It again, it's following the journals of Kenobi. Kenobi is looking back on his past. Written by Christopher Cantwell,
which I hope corroborates the whatever is in this Kenobi show. Expands on it. I think will be cool.
Which makes sense again. If we're getting a Kenobi comic book series in May, show might have to debut in May, right, guys? But we'll see. But yeah, written by Christopher Cantwell, art by Ario from the High Republic. I love his art.
Oh,
beautiful.
Our comics like once a month.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean they can just drop like one
May 20.
volume.
May.
They can drop one issue before the Kenobi show.
Well, obviously,
yeah, it could be a precursor.
And his comic is about him reminiscing, so it's not gonna be. It's gonna be about him on Tatooine reminiscing about him training Anakin, him training Anakin, him training Qui-Gon, or him
Master and Apprentice.
Yeah, if we get animated like Master and Apprentice sequences, that or not animated, but drawn Master and Apprentice sequences from the book, that'd be really cool.
Wow.
Dang, I didn't even think about that.
They could do like a panel or two from there. Sifo Dyas, that'd be really cool to see him. Or yeah, that's after his time, never mind. Or before his time. Either way, I'm excited. So we have Kenobi comic book. They also revealed Black Chrysanthemum is getting a comic book collection later this year as well. About all his appearances. It'll be one volume, including Dr. Aphra, his Dr. Aphra issues, his Dr. Aphra annual where we saw his past that I showed you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So all of his appearances in one collection. So if you're brand new to the character, you can read that one thing to get caught up on Black Chrysanthemum, which I think is really cool. He's a great character.
Oh yeah,
he's good.
He'll rip your arms off.
He's great.
What's next? So Bryce Dallas Howard is returning for Mando season 3. That was scooped by Discussing Film.
Who's shocked? I'm not.
Yeah, exactly.
She's one of the best they got, so good for her.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, she did the Mando the Boba episode.
Yeah.
So I mean, and that I was like, damn, this is one of the best ones they have.
Yeah, we talked about that like location of that place.
Please go
back. It wasn't
back.
just the effects. It was the way she directed that was
the way she humanizes the aliens, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good shit.
Frog Lady, let's go.
Her, Rick Famuyiwa, Deborah Chow.
I cannot
So
wait.
excited to have.
I miss Deborah
back.
I miss Deborah. Where's she been?
Obi-Wan.
She better be at
Directing 6
Celebration.
episodes. Please.
She's gonna be
I
looking
want
so
her
tired.
autograph. Can I get Deborah Chow's autograph?
Please.
Yeah.
Uh,
Sign my Princess Ultra.
yeah, and of course, I hope they reveal new shows at Celebration as well. Give Bryce a new show. That'd be really cool.
Which, speaking of new shows, the rumor.
Oh, there's a rumored from Disney Insider that the Lost Stars book is getting an animated adaptation.
I thought this was the High Republic thing.
Well, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
I'm skeptical.
I'm skeptical too, Bob, but I would love it.
You mean I don't have to read? No, I'm kidding.
Fuck you.
No, I'm kidding.
No, you're not.
I'm kidding.
One of the best Star Wars stories ever, dare I say.
Peak Star Wars.
However, man, I don't know. I think it could happen.
Say it again?
I think it could happen. I just don't know if it's broad enough for a Disney Plus show.
Wait, what? What do you mean broad enough?
I guess it could be. I mean, it's like a...
In terms of like audience appeal?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it is a romance. I don't know.
It is a romance. Who doesn't like that? Romance. You're going back to the original
what?
trilogy.
Yeah, true,
People
true,
would
true, true.
adore that. Like, oh wow, this is what happened right after Luke's trench run.
Okay, I take it back.
That's the same Star Destroyer.
Like people, like, oh, we're actually on Dantooine before they left Dantooine.
Well, yeah,
that kind of stuff. That's spoiler alert.
I'm fucking like what 7 years late.
They go to Dantooine to trick the Empire, but then they leave Dantooine. So when Leia says they're on Dantooine, they actually were on.
You know what? It doesn't even matter because the characters are so good that I think it could win over everybody.
One of the most realized character dynamics is Thane and Sierra's conflict and romance and the beauty of it all. It's just incredible. Tarkin,
Isn't it Thane and Sienna?
Sienna, you're right. That's a Sierra. Sienna.
Sorry.
Two great names, by the way.
Great names. It's just such a great book. I fell in love with it. It's one of my favorite stories in Star Wars history.
I cried. The climax of this book.
It's beautiful.
Ball.
Yeah, it's so emotional. Man, I think it could happen too, especially as a Disney Plus series. This could be 12 episodes easy. 6 to 12 episodes easy.
Who narrates it?
Who narrates it?
What do you mean?
Yeah.
In the audiobook?
Yeah.
Oh, Mark Thompson.
Yeah, I don't know.
The man, the myth,
the OG, yeah.
I'm about to say I narrated it because I read it.
You read it to me.
Mark Thompson's audiobook.
You read me a bedtime story.
I will, Nathan. Call me up.
Will you one more chapter, Mr. Harris?
I'm tired, Nathan.
Just one more, please.
Man, if Mark Thompson could read me a bedtime story every night.
Oh boy,
that dude is a wizard.
A long time ago.
Wizard.
That dude is a wizard.
Every time they do the fucking long time ago on the narrations.
It's like, let's fucking go.
The next chapter in the Star Wars saga. that's TV spots.
Brought to you by Del Rey Books.
But yeah, I think this
a
could
publishing house of Penguin Random Audio.
Oh no.
This is Audible.
Wow.
Jeffrey Bezos.
Watch it, damn it.
Wow. Anyways, yeah, this could be a great series. It's a rumor. Lucasfilm isn't really known for adaptations outside of like a manga adaptation they did for Lost Stars.
Cobb Vanth is the blueprint of adaptation.
Yeah, and he was inserted into an original show. So we'll see.
We have also another rumor on the show front coming late tonight. Breaking news before we go live.
Breaking news. We just have a breaking news.
Break it down, Evan. Break it down.
Breaking news, hour 40 in.
So, Jordan Mason from Cinelinx broke a scoop around 8 o'clock tonight saying there's a new High Republic kids-focused show. And I was like, okay, kids-focused, let's see how it is.
With a High Republic Project Luminous author involved in the story.
Exactly. A rumored High Republic author rumored to be writing part of the story or collaborating on the story. But also, the tagline here that he heard from two of his sources, Stranger Things in Space.
I'm in.
That's pretty exciting. And it's kind of weird because I'm like, the title he said was a Star Wars High Republic.
And this is a live. Oh, this is a live action.
Live action, by the way. Live action. Yes. It was kind of weird because the title was High Republic kids show, but then he says Stranger Things in Space. Stranger Things is not a kids show. It's not. It's a young adult show.
Goosebumps.
So maybe it's like a tween kind of tone where it's kind of on that ridge of kind of coming of age.
Exactly. Coming of age, young adult. That'd be awesome. I think that's a great mix for the High Republic, which a lot of these great High Republic characters are in their young adult coming of age people. Even though they're so brave and incredible characters, they're still like 14, 16.
Yeah, I would love to see someone like
Vernestra, my
Reeve
girl.
or Vernestra, right? Like even like 2 years before we really picked them up or something.
Yeah, or some brand new characters. Yeah, I would love it.
Yeah, or give me like the commoner's perspective. I would love like a whole new batch of characters that are kind of like
outside of Jedi.
Like like interfacing with the galaxy for the first time and are kind of like with Rebels, like thrust into the bigger conflict type deal.
That'd be really cool.
I love those kind of stories as well. So we could have that kind of crew for the High Republic or something to that extent.
Okay. Let me try and see if there's more links to it. But yeah, he says over the past few weeks, I've heard about a lot of this information. People keep saying Stranger Things in space. The kid to be in the preteen to teenage range. But yeah, he said beyond that, one of the members of the authors will be on board to help with the story. Because of course they're already super busy with phase 2.
Right.
While I started looking this up, what do you think the authors could be? I only have 2 options: Cavan or Daniel. I think.
Claudia.
I think so too.
Cavan and Daniel are insane.
I think they're the most
beasts.
proved cross-medium
Ooh,
authors.
good point. I didn't
And
think
so
about that.
I think that bodes well for adapting to something like TV. Not even adapting their own stories, but in that format. And I think Cavan has done animated
Return of the
shows.
King.
Actually.
Man, what's up?
I think Cavan has wrote on animated shows. I could be completely wrong on that.
I don't recall, but you could be right.
Oh, he did Goosebumps.
Oh,
Cavan Scott?
No, I'm kidding. I don't know.
no,
fuck
I was
you,
like,
dude.
what?
But I did see that Disney
I know.
Plus is-
Josh was. I guess there's a new Goosebumps show coming to Disney Plus.
Yeah, that hype.
Let's go.
Night of the Living Dummy 4. Let's go.
Please.
Oh my god.
I watched
But
that trilogy all the time.
This just confirms.
Hayden's in one of them.
This just confirms my suspicions that
Ooh.
moving into phase 2, we're gonna start branching out into hopefully one animated series and one live action series in the
Yep.
High Republic. That is what I think is gonna happen.
In the article, Jordan did say he still has heard rumors that an animated show is coming
Yeah.
for the High Republic. So we have an animated show in the books, this Stranger Things in Space show in the books, video game, Quantic Dream stuff in the books, maybe not.
2027.
Yeah, I know, right?
Wow.
So movies could be inside the High Republic. We have the Acolyte coming out in 2023.
Yep.
So a lot of great High Republic content coming in, and on top of Phase 2 starting later this year, which I'm super excited for. High Republic, baby, is where all things good happen. Well, minus their disasters and death and all that stuff. One last topic, very small though. The creator of Lando, Justin Simeon, is developing a Flashdance TV series, a reboot from the movie, on Disney Plus. He is also the same creator of Lando.
Does the article mention timeline for any of that?
No,
Okay.
it didn't. I just saw that tweet and I quote tweeted. I was like, I don't even think I tweeted about it. I just like, oh,
Yeah.
that's
Lando
interesting.
writer.
Because it kind of like, it's the same realization I had when we realized that Children of Blood and Ash, or whatever it's called, was going to Paramount. I'm like, wait a second, what about another project?
Hold the phone.
So it just had me thinking, like, what's going on with the Lando project? Is this Flashdance thing coming after Lando? I don't know, but is he working on 2 projects at the same time? I'm not sure.
Could be. I think he
What's
was
up with
only.
Lando?
I think he was only writing the Lando show. I don't know.
You know,
'cause
TV writing, he could be a
they-
showrunner.
Yeah, they were confident. I mean, they announced it. Like they were out with it. It wasn't just like,
They announced Patty too.
yeah.
It's still happening.
They had her with roller skates and everything. It was awkward.
It's not awkward. You're the only one who says that.
I mean, it's awkward now in hindsight.
All right.
Is
Is it really off? I mean, have they said?
I just
No.
wonder what that panel or what a movie panel is going to be this year.
We don't know. Bob.
Like
Ladies
someone in
and
our
gentlemen.
chat suggested, just get Taika to ramble up there. I don't care. Just
I
get
could
him
do
up
like
Stand up.
20 things. When is his movie? Is his movie even coming out in 2020?
That man is so busy.
Five?
He needs to clone himself for this movie. To...
His movie is ever 2025, I think, right? It was
Yeah.
supposed to be at least. But I don't want to wait till 2025 for a fucking movie.
6 years from Rise of Skywalker.
It's already been 3 years this year.
I'm waiting for a Star Wars movie. Please.
At this point, well, I guess it's only February, but something would have to be filming like within the next 3 months for it to like.
Can I finish making a Star Wars movie
We
before
need-
Lucasfilm does? That's my new challenge.
Maybe. We need a cast announcement this year if there's a movie coming next year. We need a cast announcement this year, a director announcement soon, and
Or it just a title if it's a new
a
thing.
title. Title can come later. Title can come next year if it's coming out next year. Or Last Jedi's title didn't start till January 20 something.
You're right.
But yeah, it would have to start filming in the summer at latest, in the summertime, if there's a movie coming out. So
I'm worried, Bob. I'm worried.
if they don't say anything about films at Celebration, which is impossible, they have to say something. Then I'll get worried. But that's about it. Yeah, I still think the Lando show is happening. I'll wait to confirm if it's not.
Like we said, like Nathan said, it's got to be called Calrissian Chronicles. It just
And
Chapter
just
5.
And just seeing him on Solo Star Wars Story, which if you didn't catch us live on Wednesday, we did Solo Star Wars
check
Story
the link
commentary.
below.
Ring the bell icon if you didn't get the notification.
Oh, I'd be fine with that then.
I'll be fine with
Sad.
that.
I'd be sad, but I would be fine with that.
Because I want Lucasfilm to take their time. I'm just being selfish and being like,
Yeah.
I want a Star Wars movie. But if it doesn't come out next year, boo-hoo, I got Mission Impossible next year. So
And Dune Part 2.
And Dune Part 2. Oh my god.
Oh, baby.
Woo! So I wouldn't be upset. I just want to know. I just want to know what's happening. Really, that's what I'm mostly excited about.
If they made a High Republic movie,
Oh, God.
I am.
Oh, my God.
hold on.
What's the caveat?
With Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau writing.
No, would they have a crawl?
Yeah.
I think so.
And if you have a crawl, do you put a number?
No. Just
I
say
would just say Star Wars: The High Republic.
Star Wars: The High Republic.
Chapter 1.
Title of the book, whatever. Title of the movie. I mean.
The Book of Avar Kriss.
Legends of the Past. Whatever. I don't know.
That'd be dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, High Republic is where it's at, and I think they're very excited about the success of Phase 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Update on Fallen Star. I still haven't moved an inch. I'm still on Chapter 2.
I kind of want to start it tonight. I don't
I
know.
miss crawls.
Bitch, you got your solo fucking blurbs.
Which I love. And then next week, for Rogue One, we're not gonna have anything. And then
Just
oh my god, I remember the last time I saw Rise of Skywalker, I'm sitting here, I'm like, it's the last time I'm gonna see a fucking crawl.
Wow.
Because I love reading damn biblical bangers.
Ben says, "Are you sure Mission Impossible will be next year?" Yes, I am sure. Damn it,
100%.
Chris. Whatever his name is, he
Terry?
wouldn't lie to me.
No,
The director, Macquarie, Chris
Macquarie. There's a lot of Chris.
He wouldn't lie to me, right?
Hey, Solo.
Classic.
Solo's a great prequel.
Better than Rogue One.
Is it?
The battle continues.
Yes.
For the next week.
Is yeah. Yeah, it probably is. Rogue One's still a bop.
My accomplishment.
My achievements, not yours. No energy.
I miss Ben Mendelsohn. Where's
Jin
Ben?
Erso.
Secret Invasion star?
Oh yeah. How many cameos is that gonna have?
Well, as many as I can pen.
They're all scrolls.
Yeah.
Samuel Jackson's been a scroll this whole time.
Whoa!
We already did that. Far from home.
I think that's it for Star Wars news. Star Wars is great. Star Wars is love.
Well,
Ooh, Ben, you might have to be fired from a mod there, buddy.
Ooh, hot take, sizzling hot take in the comments.
all out.
Nathan, fire him.
Fire him.
Rogue One's third act is just fire. So
I need Carson has to break the tie.
It's something, all right.
I like Rogue One.
I like Rogue
I
One.
don't
a lot.
love it. I really like it though.
It's boring. But
It's
get
not.
there.
It's not.
It's not as boring as Lord of the Rings.
We're gonna get there. It's all right. We're gonna get there,
I'm
and you're gonna be
kidding.
like, you know what? I actually appreciate the scene they're having with the Jin right now.
There's some certain good scenes. There's good scenes in there, but then there's the whole alien thing.
The what?
Or Gullet.
The boy got
Oh, now you're sounding like now you're sounding like the people that are like, the octopus drum and Aquaman.
No, totally different. Octopus drum was a split second. You miss it.
So is Borgul.
No, it's not.
Borgul lingers for a minute.
It lingers.
It's like 30 seconds, maybe.
You have, Ben. And somehow we made you a mod. I don't get it. You better ring the doorbell or the bell on our. Not the doorbell.
Maddie from Euphoria. Oh yeah.
Ring the bell on our notifications, Ben. Do you have
Make
us
sure you
notifications?
guys subscribe and
All the Euphoria memes have been top tier ever
Incredible.
since the last two
bitch,
episodes.
you better ring the bell.
What was it? It was like Maddie is like fucking Shrek as saying like a quote from another movie. It was really funny.
Yeah,
No, it was Maddie as Yoda, like, but then it was like the line was.
It was joking, bitch, you better be.
Yeah.
It's so good. Oh my god, I elevated. I also saw one with fucking Matt Murdock. Is like, bitch, I'm a really good.
Bitch,
lawyer.
I'm a really good lawyer, and then had the brick.
Yeah, fucking cat's the brick. What the fuck?
Poor cat.
Oh, I know.
Poor cat has been butchered this season. It's a damn shame, but...
She did have a nice moment with Maddie at the party, though.
Yeah, it was good. Season 3, baby!
Oh, bad.
I can't hit the high notes. It hurts.
Oh no.
Sahina. Sahina.
I never derail things.
I would never question that, Ben. Don't mind what I'm typing right now. So remove. Don't worry.
Did we do the show?
I think so.
I think so.
I had to fall asleep in 12 minutes, otherwise I'm gonna be wrecked at work.
You should do the military. I don't know. Apparently, there's this method you can fall asleep like sitting up or anywhere or something.
Sure.
You're like, I'm good. I don't want to trick my body into comatose. Like,
I'm already in pain. Honestly, it's probably just what I drink. I don't know. But hey, we did it. Episode 64 in the books. Join us next time in 65 for the finale of the Book of Boba Fett, where Cad Bane is gonna die and Evan's gonna lose it.
no, I don't think he's gonna die.
No, I don't. Evan. Not only where can they find you, but if Cad Bane were to meet his end next week, how would you feel?
He's walking out.
Pissed.
All right. Is there ever an end for Cad Bane?
No. Just keep using him.
He lives in our hearts.
Had him fight Ray. Hey, little girl.
That'd be actually such a cool.
Funny as hell. Him on his crane. I'll do it for credits.
It's just like it's older Daisy in her 40s.
But find me on Twitter at HarrisEV9. I just finished watching Peacemaker episode 6 and
Oh, dude, so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Crazy. If y'all want to find Evan and tell him to watch Lord of the Rings, that'd be great. I watched the series later this year. Does that count?
Those posters! There's like 80
Great
of them.
posters.
And
Oh my god,
right?
they dropped like 23.
I stopped retweeting
lot.
after 2 of them because I'm like, oh my, there's not. What am I supposed to do?
But besides that, what am I watching? I'm watching All of Us Are Dead as well on Netflix. I watched episode 4 yesterday, and I'm like, these characters are making some dumb decisions. Not a fan of that. And there was some surprising deaths, which were crazy. But I'm liking the show. It's very fun. What else am I watching? After Party on Apple TV. That's very fun. I watched 2 episodes for that. That's really cool. And then this Sunday, Attack on Titan. Get hyped. I'm super hyped. It's the best show ever. So that's me. That's where I'm at. Find me on Twitter, HarrisEV9. Baby.
Carson, where can they find you being a jackass?
You guys can find me being a jackass, rating jackass on my letterbox right after this, because gotta rank it, baby.
I was not insulting Carson.
And yeah, it was announced today that the Attack on Titan dub for the final season will start airing on February 13th.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Hey!
Yeah!
Are you holding out?
Wow!
Are you serious? What the
shit!
fuck?
He's gonna get. Are you close to season 3?
30
Uh-oh.
episodes. No. 30 episodes. There's 24 in season
There's
1.
only 12 in season 2, though.
There's only 24 in season 1, though. So he's in season 2
right,
right now.
Right.
Oh, wait. Are you on episode 6 of season 2, Warrior?
Oh.
Where you at, Ben?
Woo.
Where you at, Ben?
But
you
yeah,
pointing
I'll
out at
be.
me, motherfucker?
I think I have 8 episodes, or it's 8 to 10 episodes I need to catch up on season 4
We'll
part
start
1.
season 2 tomorrow. Okay.
Oh fuck yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm super pumped to catch up. And did I tell you Kelly got spoiled? But she has.
By Attack of Titan?
Yeah, she knows everything, or not everything.
Everything.
She was on TikTok and she's like, someone in the
Ooh.
comments just like put a Attack on Titan spoiler in the comments out of not even a related video, and I was like, dang.
Okay, so what's the OADs first?
Gotcha,
Got it.
gotcha.
I didn't know TikTok had comments.
Yeah, it's bad. It's the Wild West out there.
Yeah, Attack of Titan people are idiots. Somebody tried to spoil me, but I'm like, I already read the manga. So
You're right. Yeah, like fuck you. Like
dang, that sucks for Kelly. I feel so bad.
Yeah,
That's what she gets for mocking my Wordle.
Yeah.
I don't know why, like twice in a row, she's like, I want to be bragging, buddy boy. I'm like, who the fuck's bragging? I just shared the result. I got it, didn't I? Fuck.
She's just trolling.
It's too much. What is our friendship? Is there one?
Yeah.
You're
She's actually mad at. I think Evan's. Actually, this is funny. She blocked Evan the other day or some shit.
Oh, because my Attack on Titan.
No, cause she's like was scrolling through her followers. She's like, Evan doesn't follow me. I'm blocking him.
I realized the other day that I wasn't following Kelly. I'm like, that's weird. I'll
And
follow
so I
her.
started laughing my
Yeah.
ass off. And so I
That's
think you're
funny.
still blocked, but I've been working.
I didn't
on
know I
it.
was blocked. I didn't know I wasn't following her. Then I followed her.
She's like, I like Nathan more now. I was like, okay.
Wow. Tragic.
Oh, I'm glad I was the next step up.
I don't know what. Yeah, I'll just be on Twitter. I'm gonna try to catch Nightmare Alley and Beta Test this weekend because they're both on streaming services. 2 2021 movies that I wanted to watch. So yeah, that's it.
I've done nothing to Kelly. I've simply
You
existed.
haven't at all.
I'm a nice guy. I feel wronged.
You made fun of her alien porn obsession.
Did I or did you?
I did. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I did before either of you did.
I feel gaslit. No, but yeah, you can find me at _NathanRoss as well as right here on the channel. I've announced yet another project. Stop me, please. Please stop me. I need to finish something.
Pre-production forever, baby.
I'm the Jimmy Neutron villain. Can't finish anything. Like down to the point where I can't even look up that dude's name ever. I always say the Jimmy Neutron villain. But yeah, working on new anthology horror series called Nightmare. That would be live action, fun. When it'll come, I don't know. It's just shorts, fun. But yeah, animating Time Blazer, drawing continuously. Fun times. Do not go general into that good night. It's a meme at this point.
Oh, I'm gonna spend my voiceover this weekend as well. Stay tuned, people. Get ready.
Hey. I gotta start back my work week. Damn it. But it's fun. Back. We did it, Joe. That was our show. That being said, if you guys enjoy our podcast, you want to catch us watching Rogue One as well next week, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe not already, ring that bell like a Bantha. And that being said, I hope you have a great day. And may the force be with you.